It's been about 5 days since Todd's birthday party and some shady shit went down. I was kicked out of the party and wake up to all of these blogs and notifications, like all this mess that is completely not true.
If your team can just throw somebody out like that, it's really sounding up.
If it was my party, as soon as I would have seen the press, I'd be like, okay, this thing got too big.
You're being the aggressor.
Because I was wrongfully kicked out of the party. That's the whole point. You're not my friend.
You don't know how to control yourself. That's the problem.
I know Kandi doesn't know that Porsha's pregnant, but Porsha knows that Porsha's pregnant. So I'm gonna need Porsha to bring it on down.
Man, take your ass on with that bullshit.
It's Justin Diego, and I am back with another Bingeworthy video. And today, let's talk about why this latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta feels like there's just no hope left for Kandi Burruss and Porsha Williams.
Kandi and them, they ruthless kicking folks out of birthday parties.
It could have been a scheme.
If you watched Sunday night's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know that things were just really weird. And if you're like me, you're probably still confused about what really happened that one shady night in Atlanta.
So what happened?
We're like, okay, we're ready to go have a good time. But midway through, I start noticing one of Kandi's employees like circling me with this girl.
We were walking over to the VIP section. I saw him grab her arm, and then that's when they start talking. And then she gives him a hug and a kiss on the cheek, and then that's when Porsha came out.
Oh my God.
So yes, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I originally covered this story back in August, and I smoothed over everything and made it seem like it was the perfect, fabulous Michael Jordan party for Todd's 45th birthday, but in reality, it was a little bit more dramatic than that. I did notice that like Straight from the A and a lot of other blogs were like writing about it, and usually, you know, I'm not that quick to like jump on the bandwagon because you guys have to realize that during the summer, like so many Real Housewives of Atlanta rumors come out that if I believed every rumor or every cup of tea that somebody tried to spill to me, like we would be nowhere. But I have to say, when Straight from the A covered the story, I kind of was just like, let me hop on the phone and see what is going on.
I did not see what was going on with Porsha. I don't have time for you acting out just because you don't like your boyfriend talking to somebody you used to date. Like, get over it.
Not one, but two of my sources were able to confirm that Porsha did in fact get into an altercation that night, but that wasn't really what left me shook. They were also able to spill some tea that, you know, I wasn't really ready for. That's whenever I actually found out that Porsha was pregnant. And if you can imagine, that made that story a lot more like Real Housewives of Atlanta worthy. And I was just left with one final question. Like, Bravo, why didn't y'all film Todd's birthday party? Like, no, really, Bravo, what the f***? Now, I know more often than not, I am so biased towards Kandi, but I've already been able to like, you know, sort through, you know, or deal with like the feedback that y'all be like, oh, he's so biased, da da da, he all up Kandi ass, you know. I've been able to just deal with it, you know, and we all have our faves and I have mine. But I also am able to really understand why Porsha might have felt like it might have been a scheme.
Sounds like a setup, smells like a setup. It is a setup. Her team has kicked me out of her party to not even check and come out or call later or anything, and then put all this horrible stuff in the blog.
Honestly, I really don't think that it was a setup on Kandi's part, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, my biggest issue with this whole situation is the fact that Bravo, for whatever reason, decided not to film this event. I think that realistically, Kandi had spent a lot of money and she really didn't want like Bravo cameras there messing it up. And if you notice in the pictures, Kandi had a lot of her really close friends there and it just seemed so genuine. It didn't seem like something that they were just putting on like a Phaedra party or a charade event.
Look, we feel like we in high school again. Look at all these people in their jerseys.
It seems like it was like a really intimate thing. So I don't think that there is a place there really for Kandi to really, allow this mess between Porsha to like overshadow that. And that's exactly why Porsha really has the problem.
I told Kandi as soon as it happened that her team has kicked me out of her party.
That's the reason why Kandi was like, you know what, girl? Yeah, I'm at this party, girl. I'm glad they put you out. Stay the fuck out. Like, when you spend that kind of money, you don't got time for some hot-headed bitch to be ruining some shit you trying to do for your man. Honestly, you really can't make this sort of stuff up. And I mean, let's be honest, Porsha definitely already has like a certain type of reputation.
We already know what the history has been.
No, Porsha, no! What's wrong with you? She's disrespectful as
Right. And Porsha's not just crazy in general. Like, she's super crazy about Dennis. And, this whole season, it just makes sense that that would really be something that would happen. And honestly, I know that I'd be like all up Kandi's ass and I'm like Team Kandi for sure. But in this moment, like if some hussy pulled up on my man and if even the possibility of her snatching a kiss in front of everybody, like even if that like kinda could have been happening way back in my peripheral, I would have flipped the out. This would have been a much bigger situation and there would probably have been some charges involved over mine. So Porsha, I actually agree, and that's why I'm so confused why you won't just own it.
The streets are talking, honey, and I heard that Kandi and them, they're ruthless. I mean, they kicking folks out of birthday parties.
At this point, can we get Jamie a peach?
What's up, Jamie?
What's going on? Here comes trouble number 2.
Because like this whole friend of a friend of a friend of the show thing is not working. Like either get her at Marlo's status where she's an official friend of the show, I'm talking photo shoot and everything in confessionals, or give my sis a whole peach because I need y'all to stay woke. The drama that Porsha and Jamie has is the main drama that has been driving this season. I know it involves Kandi too, but Jamie is really getting us the best tea, and she's really getting Porsha together. Because whatever happened between Jamie and Porsha, these girls are mad for real. And it's kind of like what they say, like your best friend could be your worst enemy. I really feel like that's what's going on here. Jamie knows exactly who Porsha is. She knows all the games that Porsha plays, and she is willing to really dig in her ass. And it's saving the season.
You know what I feel would really happen? The reason why she hasn't called me yet is because she's over there consulting with her team. They're talking mad shit about me, talking about Dennis again. They're probably dragging. He's still with, he doing this. I know exactly what they're doing.
When the hate don't work, they start telling lies.
Exactly.
Honestly.
I think that it's a little weird that Porsha like oftentimes likes to make it seem like out of nowhere Kandi is like using her for a storyline and Kandi is the one always bringing up stuff. But Porsha is the one who like really brought this into the group of girls, and I think that it was a little, bit of setup-ish. It was a little manipulative for her to like have that scene with Nene and Cynthia, and she did a really good job at making Kandi look so bad.
Let me tell you something. If anybody from my staff had to put any of you guys out without talking to me about it, right, it would be a problem.
I mean, I don't know who's in the right and who's in the wrong, but what I do know is if your team can just throw somebody out like that you personally invited, it's really sounding up.
Now, I do agree with them that it was weird that Kandi didn't step in and like try to like de-escalate the situation. But at the same time, when you got your girls or workers that can handle your business for you, like, who's to say you shouldn't boss up?
All that's coming from the top.
Now, I feel like Nene had an issue with this for 2 reasons. Number one, I don't feel like Nene is that much of a boss. Yes, she has a lot of opportunities afforded to her, but like Nene doesn't really give me boss vibes all the time. I mean, from what I understand, her son Brent is one of her workers, and he does everything from like going with her to like those rented out sheds to collect merchandise to put on the shelves at, Swag Boutique. And, to being like her bodyguard. Like, girl, like, You are not the one that should be like shading somebody having a workers, because if you was a boss, you would have a workers too. That wasn't your son. Now I know that was a little like personal and a little shady, but hey, I don't like for them to be ganging up on Kandi, and I've said it before. Halfway through that conversation that they were having, I realized that Porsha was up to something. So when she just randomly decided to use that moment to announce to the girls that she was pregnant, I was just like, Porsha, well played. Well fucking played.
Lordy. Well, so, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm pregnant.
Listen, Porsha is big as hell.
Like, don't y'all see it? Like, it's not even a secret anymore that Porsha and Nene have this alliance. If you remember a few weeks ago, that actually blew up in their face. They be having each other back, and I feel like they knew that that scene that they filmed could really like take the heat off Porsha a little bit, because who can be mad at a pregnant person? Who can think about how a pregnant person just ran up on some girl at a party? And who is not going to be mad at Kandi for treating a pregnant person like this? Cynthia said it a few seasons back, Porsha, girl, you not that damn dumb. And I just want y'all to stay whoa. This girl is a master manipulator, and I'm here for it.
If it was my party, as soon as I would have seen the press, I'd be like, okay, this thing got too big. Let me just hit her up real quick and make sure she's okay.
If you're being the aggressor, disrupting my party, I would think that you would call me and say, you know what, I'm sorry that happened, whatever.
I didn't feel like I was the aggressor, okay?
Why would you say that you got kicked out the party if you weren't the aggressor?
Because I was wrongfully kicked out of the party. That's the whole point.
At the end of the day, I really have to agree with Eva Marcel. I feel like the ladies didn't get to a place of resolution because of poor communication. I feel like Kandi and Porsha were both in defense mode, and although it was fun to watch, it does suck that, you know, we could just see them like, you kicked me out, but why you get kicked out? What did you do? I didn't do nothing. That's the problem. It's just like, girls, like, listen to each other and stop trying to be so damn defensive, you know? But I understand they are just so caught up on trying to like look out for themselves. It hadn't been that much time since they even tried to like come back together and be cool. So I get it.
You don't know how to control yourself. That's the problem. You. Man, take your ass on with that bullshit.
Yeah, I hate when Bravo does it, but they did hit us with the old nasty to be continued. So we really don't know if they were ever able to come to a resolution, or if, you know, they had this heart-to-heart where they cried. I feel like Porsha really soon at this point is going to like make it public, you know, in the whole group of the girls that she's pregnant. And I feel like at that point, Kandi's going to kind of start to take her relationship with Dennis seriously. I feel like Kandi is gonna like take a step back, and I wouldn't even be surprised if Kandi like steps up to her later on and like kind of apologizes and actually wishes her well, because I really think that there's too much hurt there for them to not care about each other. They care about each other, and I feel like they have a foundation for what a friendship kind of should be. I think. Does that sound weird? I think these girls are real friends, and I think that that's what makes Atlanta Housewives so good. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This was so different for me. Like, I'm not used to like being on camera and like doing this, but I want to change things up. I want to do better, and I want to like share so much more with you guys. So tell me what you liked about this video. Definitely join the conversation. Let me know, like, did you pick a side? Are you team Kandi on this? Are you team Porsha? Are you somewhere in the middle? Because sometimes I'll be somewhere in the middle. It's totally okay. But, you know, just join the conversation and definitely subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends, because this channel is lit and we are about to be turning it up to a whole new level. Thanks again for watching this video. I will see you guys on the next one.